Okay, we're continuing here in the Orchid Yosher on Tefillah, and we're in the middle of the section of Kavanah, the intention that a person should have while in the midst of their davening. He quotes over here the Gemara in Bracha says, Eloi kivin, if a person doesn't have Kavanah, they don't have intention when they daven, they just say the words. And we said the simple idea in Kavanah during Tefillah is you just understand the words that you are saying. You just understand Baruch Atah Hashem. How many people say Baruch Atah Hashem all of their life? 3 times a day, 19 times in the morning, 19 times in the afternoon, 9 times at night, a whole year, a whole lifetime, and they don't understand the basic meaning of the words Baruch Atah Hashem. Maybe one day we'll have to give a share on those 3 words. If you just understand the Pasha Pshat, the simple meaning of those, that's called Kavanah. However, if a person doesn't understand, the Gemara says we should take the blacksmith's hammer and we should whack this person until he gets it into his head that when he davens, he should daven mekavana. We locked up our hammer, so you don't have to worry. No one's going to go around during davening and do such a thing. But the point that Chazal are making is that that's how valuable and important our kavanah is during tefillah, that if a person would daven and not have kavanah, we should do something to wake them up a little bit. In the Midrash it says, B'shah, Shatem Mispalelin, at the time that a person is davening, Lo Yelechem Shnei Levavos, you should not have 2 hearts during your davening. Echad Livnei HaKadosh Baruch Hu, one heart is standing and directed to Hashem, V'echad L'dvar Machem, the other one is thinking about whatever it is you were watching on Netflix before you came here. Says the Midrash, you can't do that. If a person is davening to the Rebbeinu Shalom, it has to be focused to Hashem. Now, just imagine, this is Tanchuma. This is the Midrash. It was probably written about 2,000 years ago, if not more. What were they struggling, the Dvar Machem, what were the other things going on in the world 2,000 years ago that it was hard for them to pay attention and focus in on their davening? They saw a tree on the way to davening? What, they saw a dog run through the street? What did they see? They never drove down Ventura Boulevard. They never saw a billboard. They never got a WhatsApp message right as they're walking to davening with the most ridiculous TikTok in the entire world that made them laugh out loud as they're walking into shul. They never got a nasty text message from their wife just as they're about to open their mouth and say Shema Esrei. She's asking, why didn't you come home before you daven? They never had any of that. And yet Chazal, already in those times, 2,000 years ago, they understood that to have kavanah is not a very easy thing. And if a person doesn't work on focusing and concentrating at the time of tefillah, so then they'll have one lave, one heart is going to be directed towards Hashem, hopefully, and the other lave is going to be, Dvar Machem is going to be someplace else. The goal in davening is to fuse the lave, the heart together, so that when we're mispala, when we're davening, we are directed towards Hashem. And then he writes from here, the Rosh writes in the Orchid Chaim the following, the Kosev HaRosh, Kevan b'tfilah secha, you should have intention in your tefillah, in your daven. Remember, it's your tefillah. You're the only one who's going to say this. We're going to daven Ma'ariv right now. You're the only one in the history of the world who's going to daven the Ma'ariv that we are about to daven. From the time of Adam HaRishon until right now, there's nobody else in history of mankind, of Klal Yisrael, that will have davened the Ma'ariv that you are about to daven. So it's tefillah secha, it's your tefillah. And you should have kavanah, you should have intention. Ki tefillah hi avodas halev. As we mentioned, tefillah is the avodah, it's the work of the heart. In order to, that means you have to have kavanah. And then he says the following mashal. V'im bincha yidaber lecha, if your son would come to speak to you, v'loi miliba, and he's coming, he's having a conversation with his father, and he wants something from, hey dad, I need something. Comes and he wants to apologize about something that he did. He stayed out till 4 o'clock in the morning the night before, and he didn't call at 3 o'clock when you're supposed to let you know that he's running a little bit late tonight, and your wife is up the whole night worrying, where is he, where is he, where is he? And he comes now to apologize. And v'loi miliba, but he doesn't come sincerely from his heart. Halayicha. Wouldn't the father get upset with his son? You're coming and asking me forgiveness. You're coming, you want to have a conversation. I told you I need to speak to you. We have to have a serious conversation, and your heart is not there. So what will this putrid drop? That's us. What are we going to say before HaKadosh Baruch Hu, the King of the world? Person says, Slach, please Hashem, forgive me. You know, we have on Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippur, believe it or not, it's around the corner. Once that Shivasa B'Tammuz starts on Sunday, so that means that's the day that HaKadosh Baruch Hu that's the day that Moshe Rabbeinu broke the Luchais. He broke the tablets. And from there begins the whole process that brings us to Yom Kippur when HaKadosh Baruch Hu gives us back the Luchais. So Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippur is around the corner. We clap Al Chet about 1,000 times. I'm sorry, Hashem, I'm sorry. It says the Rosh, and if you don't have Kavanah, by the time we get to the Ne'ilah, everybody, again, what did I do wrong today? What did I do wrong? So if a person doesn't have Kavanah, when he's clapping Al Chet and he's saying, Slach, Lanu, please, Hashem, forgive me, so then what exactly does he accomplish? It's like the child who comes to his father and says, Dad, I'm really sorry. I shouldn't have smashed your car last night when I was drunk, and I know that I'm not supposed to drive when I'm sorry. But the kid doesn't really care. So a son of HaKadosh Baruch Hu comes and he says, I'm sorry. He doesn't really care. Ad Kadosh Shaina. V'ayim v'chai Adam, in the Sefer Chai Adam, take a look in there, Maisa Noira, a frightening story. On the person who didn't have any kavanah when he was mentioning Hashem's name in his davening. Maybe we'll see it. Maybe we'll have Rahmanis on you. And we won't see it. We're not going to see it tonight. But the bottom line is that a person is given so many opportunities to talk to the Ribbono Shel Olam. It doesn't have to be Kabbalistic. It doesn't have to be mystical. It doesn't have to be beyond our level. Simple. I'm talking to Hashem, and I express myself with meaning and intent and with the best understanding I have. You have a kavanah like that, as we mentioned before, that's the key to taking your tefillah to a different madriga.